Hey y'all, welcome back. Episode 2 of Bucket for Bucket. I am Kayla with my co-host Kenny.
What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up?
We're coming off two amazing matchups, instant classics. We got LSU, Iowa, the rematch, and of course UConn and USC. Before we get started into those matchups, any opening comments?
You already know what it is. It's Bucket for Bucket with Kayla and Kenny. Yesterday was one of the greatest nights in women's basketball, women's sports history, and they did not disappoint, hands down. So,
Oh, this game definitely
shout
lived
out
up
to
to
the
the hype.
ladies. Live to the hype. Absolutely live to the hype yesterday. It was so super dope to watch and be a part of that.
Yo, I literally left work early. Like I didn't take my lunch break. I threw myself down the train station stairs to catch the train. I was like, no, I need to make it home in time for this game. And I did. And what we witnessed, it was history, an amazing performance by Caitlin Clark. 9 3-pointers. She was making it rain. Literally unstoppable, unguardable. 41 points, 12 assists, almost had a triple double, 7 rebounds. Just wow.
Yeah, it was wild. And I want to point out both of the games went into the half 0-0. They both were tied up at the half. So it was really close games. I also want to give a shout out to Angel Reese because she had a monstrous game too, especially before her injury. Like she really put her heart and her soul out there trying her best to keep her season alive. So I think she had 17 points, 20 rebounds, 4 assists, two or four blocks or something like that. So
Yeah.
I know the story's all Caitlin Clark, but I want to give a lot of love and shout out to LSU. I know
Sadek is into it. So is Academy Award-winning director Ezra Edelman. Sadek.
damn LSU was trending all over Twitter, but it was definitely a historic night yesterday.
Caitlin Clark since the jump. I mean, the first points for Iowa was a made Caitlin Clark three. When she made that three, I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of those nights. I mean, she was seeing green from outside. They had Haley Van Lith on Caitlin Clark, and she just couldn't stop her. That was a weird decision from Kim Mulkey. I thought she should have put Flau'jae Johnson on Caitlin
Yeah,
Clark. Flau'jae has more size, more length, is more athletic, run over those screens. But yeah, it was a weird decision by Kim Mulkey to keep the same game plan, especially after the half, and not switch it up. Like trying the same things and expecting a different result.
insanity, literally. So the reason why that was so insane to me is because one, Haley Van Lith cannot guard her. Haley Van Lith can't guard much people, to be honest with you. She's a good scorer and everything like that. But first of all, Haley Van Lith was sick. She was sick, first of all, from the last game and this game. She was taking IVs throughout the game. So I was shocked Kim Mulkey went ahead and didn't put Flau'jae. I know Flau'jae had a little bit of foul trouble at some point in the game, but that was the game changer. I feel like they lost for two reasons. They lost because they didn't have Flau'jae on Caitlin, and they didn't double team Caitlin. Caitlin, to be honest with you, I'm perfectly fine with Caitlin having 20 assists and having 20 points because she could. That's forcing somebody else to beat me. I don't want Caitlin Clark to beat me. Not saying that she's the only player there, but she's literally the most prolific player on that team. If you cut the head of the snake, where the hell is the snake gonna go? So at that point, I was just disappointed that Kim Mulkey didn't give Flau'jae, like you said, she should have been the one. And there were a
I
few
mean, if
times
you're
that
giving
Flau'jae,
the defensive assignment to guard the best player night in and night out throughout the season, so it's like, why change it up now?
yeah, I don't know what happened, what was the changeup, but a couple of possessions where Flau'jae was guarding Caitlin Clark, she stopped her. So it was like,
Especially towards
and
the
Caitlin
end when
Clark,
they were trying to make that little comeback towards the end. She had two great defensive stops, and it's like, man, this is what you should have been doing all game.
you should have been doing it all game. It was a little bit too late. And then towards the end, like I said, towards the end, it was just why at that point, why Flau'jae should have been from start to finish guarding Caitlin Clark 94 feet. And then in the first half, another thing that I noticed is Caitlin Clark was turning the ball over a lot, and it was because of those doubles. They weren't giving her much space. They were switching off on the screens, but the most important thing was crowding her and doubling her and forcing her to make errant passes. And I don't know, but we witnessed history yesterday. It was a great game. They didn't let us down. So I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I was
I mean, it
happy to
was
witness that.
great offensive game for Caitlin. But her passing is very underrated. She leads the league in points, but she also leads in assists. And that was huge for Iowa. It was the supporting cast. Kate Martin with 21 points. Doesn't really score as much, but she really came through for Iowa. Gabby Marshall, Stokey was in a little foul trouble at the beginning. Didn't have much points, but definitely held her own defensively. So it wasn't only Caitlin.
The others,
yes.
yeah, not just like
I
you were
was saying
starting to
it
cut you
wasn't
off.
only Caitlin, despite her great scoring game, her assist and her making her teammates better really, really helped Iowa.
Yeah, she needed to. She needed to. But one thing that I do want to say that kind of makes it look like it was only Caitlin is that she either scored or assisted on 71% of those buckets yesterday. So that's a huge deal. So even if she wasn't scoring, she had something to do with the scoring with her assists and finding the teammates. And again, you have to shout out those teammates for actually stepping up. Shaq says it all the time. He always talks about the others, and the others stepped up in a big way. Like you were saying, Martin, 21 points. That's huge. Like you cannot sweep that under the rug. Even Gabby Marshall, when like everybody has they have the photographic memory, the photogenic or photo, whatever you call it. But Gabby Marshall waving goodbye to Angel Reese when Angel Reese fouled out. Obviously Angel Reese did the same last year. Well, not last year, but last game. Yeah, last round when it was just like, yo, it's just the energy from everybody. Even
I mean,
Jason
it's part of the
Sudeikis in the
game. They
crowd.
were really so excited for this match. Caitlin said that she didn't do anything all day. She was just sitting around waiting for the game, waiting for the time. She's like, "Can it be 7 p.m. already?" They give it their all. They put their heart and soul into the game. It's part of it. The trash talk. If Angel could dish it out, she could take it as well.
Yeah.
Post game had me really sad. Like she was crying. Flage was crying. She stated that she hasn't had a peace since the championship game last year. That's because of social media. The amount of people that hide behind screens and threaten people and say all these extra, comments, negative comments, which is unnecessary. At the end of the day, Angel Reese, the basketball player as we know her, she is a person. She's another human.
She's a person. Is she even 20 years old yet?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe she's 21.
She's 21, but still she's 21 years old. She's young. I get bothered. I was even bothered yesterday by Jason Sudeikis, the actor, when he does I was super bothered by that because one, mind your business, bro. It's not your business. This is not your business. This is a woman's game. Whatever happened between them personally last year, that was between them. You don't have to bring back all of these stuff in. Like, if Caitlin Clark's not doing it, ain't no reason for you to be like,
for you to
be riding that whole way.
Towards the end of the game, they hugged it out, even had some words, it was all
love. They had some words and stuff like that. But here's where the only thing I want to say to Flage and to Angel Reese specifically is I want them to understand the difference between media and social media. I'm not saying that the media, the people who write the stories, are 100% behind them, because they're not. They're definitely not 100% behind LSU. But all of the top, like, bullying, the cyberbullying, all of the dishes on her GPA, saying she's pregnant, this, that, and the third, that's social media. And that's people online who have nothing better to do, people who have nothing going on for them. So I want like Flage and Angel understand the difference between media and social media, because there's not every paper is writing something bad about LSU and those women. Besides those LA Times and the Washington Post, what they did the other day, which they had to retract, not everybody's doing that. There are a lot of people in the media space, especially the women who support LSU, who support Angel
Reese. And I know
they
know that. They know that. It's like they're young and they just let it get to them, and It's a lot of
to the
attention
social
from one
media.
year to another. They didn't have all this attention 2 years ago, last year.
Social media is weird. It's a weird place. I literally sat here before we got on this thing, and if I could remember the person's name, I would shout them out for how much of a fool they are. But somebody literally sat there to try to argue with me because there was commentary about a possible 3-point shootout next year in Golden State 2v2. Somebody
Oh, yeah,
says,
Klay Thompson and Steph Curry versus Caitlin.
yeah.
Yeah.
And my commentary to that, you know what I said to that? I said, that sounds cool, but the NBA need to find their way to Phoenix this July for the WNBA All-Star game and run it back over there, because y'all don't need to keep bringing the WNBA over to save the NBA All-Star weekend because it's so trash. And then somebody in the comments, you know what they said to me? You know what they said to me?
What?
They said, I'm not trying to insult anybody. When somebody starts off like that, you know they're gonna say something stupid. They're gonna say that anybody would rather watch Gigi Jackson versus Jordan Poole play one-on-one than watching a WNBA game 5. So I'm upset. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, how much more? Like, come on. People aren't online are legit stupid. Like, when they say misery loves company, they're talking about social media at this point. People are so miserable that they just don't want to see other people happy. They don't want to see college girls win. And the fact that people are getting at Angel Reese for crying, she just lost an Elite 8 matchup to get to the Final Four.
Last college game. Like, it's a 4-year career. Possibly her last game. We still don't know if she's gonna declare for the draft or she's gonna come back. Of course she's gonna cry. Like, she's a young lady.
Yeah.
Who gives
I'm not gonna lie to you, Kayla.
back.
Yesterday was one of the most historic times in women's basketball, but I feel like today, just looking at everything, it's like we almost forget it, because I'm just like, I have to remind myself to stay out of the comments, because I can't believe some of the stuff that I'm reading. I really can't. I can't believe how could grown people really like try to create a divide on women's basketball. They're creating a divide in race. They're saying outlandish thing about people personally. They're playing a game of basketball. Like, how? Like, it's so disappointing. I'm not gonna lie.
Stuck on the negatives, just because the amount that the women's game has grown in these previous years, the amount of new fans and positive viewership we have. This game, I'm not sure how many people viewed the game, but I'm pretty sure it broke records.
Yeah.
The championship game also broke records. So it's like we have a lot of positives, takeaways to take from this matchup, even though there's always gonna be those haters.
It's exhausting. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like,
if you sit there and try to defend and try to like fight with every single person, like, it's just never, there's always gonna be that hater.
Yeah, it's not it. It's really not it. So I had to tell myself to stay off of social media, because I'm seeing so much craziness. Then there was somebody else who called who said Coach Gino's a weak coach. He's not a good coach. He's a terrible coach because of his comments today. Have you seen Gino's comments today?
When he was like, Caitlin, I hope she doesn't draw 50 on us, something like that.
Exactly. And he's clearly joking.
Of course he's clearly joking. Those are people who are new to college basketball, because if you don't know Gino and the historic run UConn has been, then
11 national titles.
Like, are you serious?
Like,
you
that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. I'm lost. I don't know what's going on in this space that they call women's basketball or basketball in general. But it's truly exhausting. I can only imagine what the women are going through, like having to be in this space and see some of the commentary that is happening, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm exhausted.
What does this mean for these young players moving forward? Like being an NBA player, the amount of attention you get. Now these women basketball players learning how to manage social media, how to manage all this attention, and stay locked in and stay focused, and not really let it get to them.
That's hard. That's one of the toughest things, because so for me, I think for social media is more dangerous in college than in the professional game, because the professional women, I don't feel like they're going through as much heat as the college, the Angel Reeses are getting and stuff like that. Not saying that they don't get like any heat on social media or anything, but I feel like social media
They
is
definitely
really
don't get
like,
as much as the college players for sure.
yeah, because I feel like once you get to a certain point in your life, especially as a professional, you're able to separate and be like, oh no, this social media thing is really bad. This is a distraction. This is not for me. So they hire people to run their social medias, or they just don't do it at all. Like Courtney Vandersloot. Sorry to think off. You don't see Courtney Vandersloot on social media. She's not having that fuck with her head. That's just one person as an example.
Not only like do they pay attention to the comments, but they're very active, you know, on TikTok, on Instagram,
Exactly.
stuff. And not
Exactly.
really with basketball, but just on their personal level. Like how much should they continue to show of their personal life, and how, you know, how do they balance it?
For me, I don't know how to balance it, because I don't know how to balance it myself. Like trying to figure out, there's times where I'm just like, for me personally, I hate social media, but I know that we need social media for what we're doing, in the sense of what we're doing and what we're trying to do. But I just want the kids to figure out like the business side versus the distraction side. So
Exactly.
I'm in all support for what they have to do, because these college kids they have NIL deals, and most of the NIL deals are predicated on them being on TikTok, them
Media
being on
presence.
Instagram,
Exactly.
and the media
It's like your
presence. So it's
media
like,
presence equates to how much money you can make because your followers,
exactly,
your engagement. So this younger generation is always going to be on social media just because they know how much money they can make.
yeah. But
You
you
said
got
they're
to
gonna have
understand
to
how to
know
navigate it.
how to separate the business aspect, and then when it's time to, you know, be focused, locked in, and be professional. So yeah,
Yeah,
social
exactly.
media is definitely a different game in itself. It's a game within a game.
It is. It definitely is a game within a game, for real, for real.
Moving into the next matchup, UConn versus USC. Another great one, another classic. Juju with the most, with probably the best freshman debut career in all of NCAA history.
Mhm.
She became the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history with during this game. UConn just doing what UConn does, which is win. A lot of people didn't have UConn making it this far. A lot of people had UConn being knocked out in the second round due to injury. As we know, they only have 7 players. 3 players, Aaliyah Edwards, Paige Beckers, and Nika Mule played all 40 minutes. And what does that mean for UConn moving forward? And your thoughts on this matchup?
My thoughts on this matchup, it was experience versus inexperience. First of all, it was a great game. Just like everybody was waiting for. This was a great game, hands down. Juju's, she is that girl. She's her. Like, she's future of the NCAA and future of the WNBA. That's what I feel about Juju Watkins. She's a beast. But where they lost that game was inexperience. I know all the time everybody's talking about, oh, UConn, they're under women, they have injured players. But I keep telling y'all, every championship team, if it's women's basketball, men's basketball, NBA, WNBA, the rotations go to 8 people. It's like 8 people. You don't see 10
Yeah,
people playing in the playoffs and the finals and stuff like that. So they was seasoned and ready for this moment. My second thing is that of all the WNBA players in this draft, I know Caitlin Clark is going #1, but remember when I tell you Aaliyah Edwards is the most WNBA ready out of all the players in this upcoming draft. And I don't mean that as shade to anybody, but Aaliyah Edwards has been coached by Gino, and she's a part of an established, like a really good program. Her skill, her size, everything, she's like WNBA ready, hands down. So I'm not shocked that UConn made it this far. The only thing with USC is I thought they made some like rookie mistakes. I really wanted them to win. I wanted to see Juju go all the way, but
yeah, I
it
did.
was just a couple things. One point I wanted to call out is at the fourth quarter, 4 minutes left. They was down 67-64. It was 4 minutes left. Juju gets the rebound, and she comes down, and instead of setting up a play, she kind of ran up and she did a pull-up three. She wasn't even set or anything. If that shot went in, everybody would have went crazy, but it didn't. It missed, and you know what happened the very next play? Paige Beckers gets the ball, comes off a screen, and she knocks down a three. So they was down 3 points, and because she took an ill-advised shot, it went to 6 points. And then after that 6 points, it went to 8 points. And so
That's where that
I'm just saying,
you're saying comes in. Is like,
yeah,
when you're so late in the game and you're only down 3, why not take your time, run off some time, actually set a play and make good use of that possession. It came up as an empty possession and just put them more in a hole. So yeah, I agree with
it was 4 minutes left. It was 4 minutes at the time.
But mentioning Aaliyah Edwards, she's predicted to go number 5 in the draft. Dallas has the number 5 pick. So you think Aaliyah
number 5?
Yes, over
Aaliyah Edwards, number 5?
Yeah, that's what I'm here to ask you. Like Cameron Brink at number 2, Camila Cardoso at number 4. So you think Aaliyah Edwards is above those players?
Camila Cardoso before Aaliyah Edwards?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So a couple of GMs are gonna get fired. As a matter of fact, I hope Aaliyah Edwards falls all the way to number 11. F that. But let her fall to number 11.
We'll take her. We'll definitely take her.
If y'all gonna be so horrible, if y'all are gonna be that horrible, let Aaliyah Edwards fall to number 11 so we can show y'all what to do with her. Because that's crazy. That is crazy to me. I don't know. That's crazy. Number 5?
Yeah. I mean, she would go crazy in Dallas next to Kalani Brown.
She would. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want her falling in Dallas. That's gonna make them a different kind of contender. Like, that's damn.
Yeah.
Enrique.
That squad they have in Dallas, that would be scary.
And she's tough. She's not she's not a walk in the park. Aaliyah Edwards she's a tough cookie. So it's like, damn.
She reminds me a lot of Aaliyah Boston, actually.
Number 5, that's crazy. All right, whatever. Yeah, this is why I get paid the big bucks, and WNBA GMs and all of that stuff. But if y'all get this wrong, I'm going to circle back. We gonna spin the block. Me and Kayla.
I told you so.
Yeah, and y'all are crazy. Yeah, all right. We'll see.
And how do you feel? So going in to the Iowa versus UConn matchup now for the Final Four, how do you feel that they have? I know you said it doesn't matter. Usually great teams have 7-player rotation, but 3 players playing 40 minutes, playing all game, it could really tear you down, wear you out. How do you see that matchup with Iowa panning out?
Gino gonna tell him, I only need y'all to do this 2 more times. Play 40 minutes straight 2 more times, and we have it all. This is ours. We get to go to the championship round if we could do this again this time around, and just give me 40 minutes. Just give me 40 minutes again. I just need that twice. And for some reason, I feel like Paige Beckers, Aaliyah Edwards, KK Arnold, if she stays out of foul trouble, they're all up for that challenge. They don't care. Like, fuck F the bench. We don't need bench time. All right. Let's keep playing. And
you say that now, but if let's say UConn wins and they have to face South Carolina, which is a team with not a bench, but 2 sets of starters, if you're being honest.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough.
It is gonna be tough, but here's what I'll tell you with the whole South Carolina, only because Dawn, Coach Staley's their coach, is that South Carolina, that bench mob is gonna shrink a little bit. She's not gonna play all 10 people. She's gonna play all 5 people on her bench. Or she's not gonna do that. I don't think that's gonna happen for this championship round. She might, maybe, but it's gonna be a little bit different. And I don't mind. I really don't mind because of UConn and their experience. Like, think about it this way. This UConn and Iowa matchup, this is literally a matchup from when they were both freshmen. Like Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers, they played each other. Iowa versus UConn. UConn obviously won that so that they could go to the Elite 8. But at that time, you have Paige, you got Aaliyah Edwards, still on that team. They have a couple of new faces, but I
Paige
think
was
the
the best
experience is
player
gonna
in
win.
the NCAA that season. Actually, that's when she won the Naismith Player of the Year. So yeah,
Right?
yeah, Paige.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, so they get to do that right now. Caitlin Clark gets her revenge. She could try to get her revenge, but ultimately, I think the veterans, the people who like have been through this, they're gonna go through it. I feel like UConn is dealing with so much adversity. For them to make it this far, you don't just lay down once you make it to the elite to the final four. Like we going all the way.
Right. Yeah, no, and with a coach like Gino, God knows how far they can make it. I mean, they've made it this far. Um, so who do you have in your final four matchups? We have number 1, South Carolina versus number 3, NC State. They play April 5th, 7 p.m. Right after that is the Iowa and UConn. And who do you think are gonna meet in the championship round? I got South Carolina versus Iowa. I want to see that rematch, that Final Four rematch from last year. Iowa beat South Carolina. If you remember, Caitlin Clark waved off Raven Johnson. Remember?
Yeah.
And it was something
You're not waving off Crockpot this year. I tell you that. You're not
not,
waving
I
off
mean,
Crockpot this year.
not at all. Raven Crockpot Johnson, she came to play. She really worked in the offseason on her 3-point shot and on her shot in general. And it has showed throughout the season this season. She even said that she thought about quitting basketball after that. And I'm so glad she didn't. The fact that she really worked hard and added
Yeah,
that to the game shows how she's a true professional. Like if you have a bad
yeah,
season, you come up short, you go and you put your butt in the gym, you lock yourself in the gym and you work hard. And she came back and she proved that she can get better. And I'm so proud of Raven Johnson. So happy that she did not quit basketball. We need her. South Carolina needs her. The game needs her. She's such a great point guard. And yeah, I got South Carolina for that matchup against NC State versus Iowa. I want
check
South Carolina to
out.
get that revenge.
First of all, I would love to see the revenge, but what I think, all right, let me tell you what I want versus what I think. Because, first of all, SC South Carolina making it to the championship game is what we want to see. I want to see South Carolina. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be mad at either or South Carolina versus UConn or South Carolina versus Iowa, especially because of the fact that it's a matchup, a rematch. So what I think is going to happen, and I'm sorry to say this because I know you're an SC girl, but I think NC State might get this upset. I think NC State might get the upset, and I think we are going to see NC State versus UConn in the championship round. And I say that only because I think this could be maybe I don't know if has happened before, but I think we might possibly see the same exact matchup in both the men's and the women's because UConn and North Carolina State are in the Final Four.
Yeah,
I
be
think
insane.
that would be insane to see NC State versus UConn on the men's side, NC State versus UConn on the women's side. And you called it too. You called it too. The last episode, if y'all go back to the last episode, Kayla called it. She said NC State, they are some dogs. Watch out for the upset. And it happened. It happened. NC
It
State
came
is
down
real
to
big.
yeah. But I
They
agree with you.
good.
I see it. I see NC State being able to pull the upset on South Carolina. Of course, I'm a South Carolina fan. I wouldn't want that, but I definitely they have the potential to do it. There's some dogs there, Sanaya Rivers, Isaiah James, and
Mm-hmm.
I think the key to beat South Carolina, they can really shoot from three, and they have competition with them in the paint. You know, South Carolina is such a great team in the paint, and if you could compete with South Carolina in the paint, then you have a great shot at beating them.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, you got a great shot at that. But again, I'm not going to speak that into existence because I want to see South Carolina take it all. I'm with you, especially after yesterday. I seen a tweet that was funny as hell to me because I'm like, this is the truth. LSU fans are SC fans right now. Everybody just transition is like, okay, She took us out, so now we gotta go over to the SC
I mean, that's the same thing
bandwagon.
that happened last year when Iowa took out South Carolina. Everyone became an LSU fan. Like we were all cheering for LSU. Like even LSU, Angel Reese, Flajay, they were like, "Oh, we're doing this for our SEC sisters. Like we're doing this for our gang, you know." And they're repping the SEC. So South Carolina is definitely looking forward to that Iowa matchup, so they can help LSU gain their revenge like they did for us last year.
That's dope. That's dope. That is super dope, man. That's super dope. I like that. I just hate the way that the brackets ended up this year because it's like you wish that you got to see this in the Final Four as opposed to seeing this in the Elite Eight, maybe the championship round. I would have loved to see. I would have loved to see in the final two to be LSU and the Gamecocks because they was really going at it this year. Like they really had smoke for each other this year, and I would have loved to see
that. 3 times this season, 2 times they played 3 times this year. 2 times
it's like two,
3
times
or 2 times.
Yeah,
that would have been a crazy final.
It would have. It really would have. It really would have.
I kind of like the fact that LSU and Iowa met a little earlier and were put under the same region.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, they got to do better with that. Like we got to do better.
I liked it though because I didn't want to see them two play in the final again. I really didn't.
Oh, you didn't? All right.
I didn't. I like that they put them in the same region. Because you knew there was a bigger chance of them meeting up if they put them in the same region.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Which is what happened, which was what everybody wanted. I mean, this game was literally.
It worked out in everybody's favor.
Yeah, for real. So we're gonna end this episode. It was a great conversation. Great matchups for women basketball. We love to see it. Just want to give our players flowers. We know we did it towards the beginning of the episode, but shout out to Angel Reese for an amazing career, amazing college career. Just in the past year, what you have done for the game, the way you have grown NIL, have shown other players and future players the way you can make money off of social media. Flajay Johnson, amazing season. Caitlin Clark continues to dance. Also want to give her flowers. 41 points it still amazes me. It's an inspiring performance by Caitlin Clark. And Juju, like you were about to say, the freshman, one of the best freshman seasons I've ever seen. Shout out to Juju. We have 3 more years of this, so you'll definitely be back. Just keep working. You've experienced what it's like to be deep in the tournament, so just next year fight for that Final Four spot. Can't wait to see it.
And the fact that let's not forget that Juju, you brought USC back to relevancy. So it's been over 30-something years. Like you brought them back to relevancy, and I'm watching USC basketball again because of you. So keep it up, ladies. Malaysia, keep it up. Audie Crooks, keep it up. All of these talents, we want to see y'all keep it up and continue to keep y'all stamp on this women's game.
Yep. Thank you so much for joining us. Tune in, like, comment. You guys can DM us at Woman Hoops, WOMENHOOP 2SSS. You can
DM her. Don't DM me. Do not DM me. I don't want to talk to nobody on social media.
I definitely respond. You guys can DM me.
I don't want to talk to nobody on social media. I am done with responding to people on social media on any type of weird energy or anything like that. We're just positive vibes over here. NYL FTV, if you want to hit me up about New York Liberty, and you can follow me at ken.nysports on all platforms. Again, do not DM me on no weird stuff. I will not debate you or anything like that. Just stay away from me, okay?
Only positive comments, positive ideas, positive conversation. We love to hear anything you guys have to say about basketball as long as it's positive. We love the love you guys show us. We have a couple fans who are always on it, always showing love on our page. So we want to shout you guys out. Keep watching, share, like, comment, and peace. This is Bucket for Bucket with Kayla Kenny.
Yes, thank you. Peace.
Boom.